The United States and Europe are engaged in a war of words over President Donald Trump's new national security strategy. And now, an alleged leaked document can potentially escalate the situation even more. The leaked document, allegedly the full version of the strategy, throws light on the U.S. potential outlook towards the European Union. The version accessed by new website Defense One claims that the U.S. wants to closely work with 4 countries with the aim of them eventually exiting the European Union. The 4 countries reportedly mentioned are Austria, Hungary, Italy and Poland. Leaders of these are considered close to Trump and sometimes not aligned with other members of the European Union on several policies. In the recent past, Austrian Chancellor Christian Stocker has publicly argued against the EU's asylum rules, and his government is aimed at curbing the right of refugees to bring in their close family members. On the other hand, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has often accused the EU of smugness towards Italy. Another close partner of Donald Trump, the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, has openly backed the American national security strategy and even asserted that Europe severing ties with Russia was a mistake. Similarly, the Polish president Nawrocki has stressed that Warsaw should align its national security strategy with the roadmap released by the United States. The White House, meanwhile, has denied this. Deputy Secretary Anna Kelly had refuted the authenticity of this document, emphasizing that no classified or alternative version exists. In fact, she made it clear that President Donald Trump signed only one national security strategy document that was publicly released. She added that the strategy clearly directs the U.S. government to act on his defined principles and priorities. Earlier, the controversy arose over the national security strategy document that accused Europe of lacking civilizational self-confidence and of being over-regulated. It also warned of Europe's civilizational erasure and held the European Union responsible for undermining political liberty and sovereignty. It linked the bloc's migration policies to strife in the continent. Now, this released version of the document also hints at a greater focus on fostering relationships with like-minded right-wing administrations and movements. Besides this, it also calls for supporting parties, movements, and intellectual and cultural figures who seek sovereignty and restoration of traditional European ways of life while remaining pro-American. The controversy, remember, over the security strategy is the latest in the already strained relationship between U.S. and its European allies. In recent comments, President Donald Trump has been continuously criticizing and berating Europe. In his latest attack, he had said that Europe is heading in a very bad direction.
Whoa, that's a nasty one. Elon has not called me to ask for help on that one. But no, that's a tough thing. I don't think it's right. No, I don't think it's right. I don't see, how they can do that. No. I'll speak about it later. I'm going to get a full report on it. Look, Europe has to be very careful. We're doing a lot of things. We want to keep Europe Europe. Europe is going in some bad directions. It's very bad for the people. We don't want Europe to change so much. You're going in some very bad directions. That was a big thing.
Let's get a perspective on what Europe thinks about this statement by Donald Trump. Joining us live from Narvi in Estonia is Mr. Marko Mihkelson, Chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the Estonian Parliament. Mr. Mihkelson, thank you very much for speaking with us on WION. I want to first understand how Europeans are seeing the statement by President Trump. Do you see this as a pressure tactic by United States to divide the European Union and dominate trade? Or do you see this as an extension of not just Donald Trump's, but Russian President Vladimir Putin's vision of not having a European Union?
This is very, very good question. And obviously, there are different ways how to analyze this. Obviously, this is something what would be very much in interest, not only Russia, but also China, where the kind of very strong alliance between Americans, the United States of America, and Europeans will be kind of either divided or, in best possible way, thinking in Moscow, even collapse. But I think that this is what we have read from the United States national security strategy, and also in this leaked document, which seems not very kind of true in terms of what kind of comments State Department has given, then there is no new kind of elements in many ways. We learned already in the Munich Security Conference from a speech of Vice President Vance that current new administration in Washington is critical about what is happening in Europe. But at the same time, I would like to also argue that in the very same document, security strategy, the United States argues that Europe stays as a very important ally for the United States. So it's up to Europeans, up to our nations, to bolster our defense capabilities, to make sure that we are capable to defend and deter possible enemies of Europe. That would make us, obviously, much more interesting partners within alliance with the United States.
Mr. Mikkelsen, I understand your viewpoint, but would you not agree with the fact that Europe itself has also given much leeway for the President of the United States to think in this direction, to make such statements? I mean, you know, you've got the NATO chief calling Donald Trump daddy. He's been praising him. There are European leaders who have been praising him as well. Do you not think that leeway has been given to Donald Trump to think this way, to think what he's thinking?
You know, there are different ways and styles our diplomats or politicians approach the current administration. I think the best possible way, as we do here in Estonia, is to invest into those domains, let's say, which are necessary. In Estonia, we are going to spend next year to defense expenditures more than 5% of GDP. We are actively, of course, bolstering our neighborhood relations here in Nordic, Baltic, Polish area, and making sure that we do our part, actually strengthening our joint alliance. But from our point of view, it is incredibly important to keep working, strengthening transatlantic alliance, because this is in the interest, end of the day, also the United States, because if we would like to see world more kind of predictable in terms of security, then not a single power, including the United States, can do it alone, and they need European allies.
Okay. All right. We'll leave it there. Mr. Mikkelsen, thank you very much for sharing your perspective. Let's wait and watch how this really moves forward between European Union and United States of America. Clearly, Donald Trump not withdrawing from the kind of critical statements that he has been making about Europe. Thank you very much, Mr. Mikkelsen.
Thank you.